High trust climates perform better, higher sales, lower turnover, they attract staff, they maintain staff, they have happier staff, the list just goes on. George, the essential point is this costs nothing.
He's right. Trust is the most important thing, and it's free.
So I think I have found the secret of a happy workplace, but I have one more place to visit. It's not somewhere glamorous like Microsoft or Google. In fact, it's state-funded, and I think it might surprise you.
Temple Street Children's Hospital in Dublin is the only publicly funded hospital in the world to make it into the great places to work. And it's been there consistently for the last 5 years.
Grania, can you tell us what are you doing there?
So at the moment we're setting up for dialysis, for hemofiltration for a little baby that's at the moment down on our renal unit who's in renal failure, and so we need to take over the work for kidney.
Why is it such a good place to work?
We have a great team up here of nurses, doctors, and it's a great facility itself to work in. It's quite new, state of the art.
You know, when we have tough days, which happen, you know, on a regular basis, I think there's always somebody to, you know, give you a bit of a lend an ear and kind of help you get through.
One thing I've noticed, I'm only back in Ireland for a year now, there is a huge difference between, I think, you know, what I've been working with here the last year to what I was used to in the UK before, in the sense that it is, you know, a nicer place and an atmosphere to work in. I feel that the results we're getting and the outcomes are better than what I'm used to before. And I think a lot of it is to do with the ethos in the hospital. It's with the can-do attitude of everybody working in it.
All so positive, despite the fact they're dealing with seriously ill children.
Children come in with newly diagnosed brain tumours and need neurosurgery, and it's extremely stressful. But we do our best to help them. And I suppose at the end of the day, that's why we're here. And if we can do a good job, well then it's a job well done for us as well.
And as a place to work, how would you describe it?
I have to say I wouldn't work anywhere else. Yeah, I look forward to coming into work. As I said, we all work really well together. Everybody gets on well.
Here in the chaplaincy, in terms of what you deal with, I'm sure it can be extremely stressful, and yet it's still a very good place to work.
I suppose we're lucky in a sense we can go home every evening, but parents have to stay with the awfulness of the reality. And I suppose we could have anything from 35 to 60 deaths per year in the hospital. But we work as a team and we're not just on our own. And I suppose psychologically that's a help too, George, because I don't think any one person could deal with all that death and dying and trauma and vicarious trauma on their own.
There have been an awful lot of cutbacks. How have they impacted?
We have less people doing more work for less pay, which is usually a recipe for disaster. But so far, I mean, it's been very difficult for staff because many of them, their partners or husbands, are unemployed now. They've lost their jobs, and these are the sole earners. But still, they can dig deep somehow and find the resilience and the motivation to go that extra mile. I can't explain it in logical terms, but it's amazing.
Temple Street decided to enter Great Place to Work to improve their workplace. They thought it would take years, but they actually made the grade the very first year they entered.
Did it surprise you when you applied for the Great Place to Work that you did so well first time round?
Yes, absolutely. But it's not about money, it's really about respecting our staff. You know, at the end of the day, the organisation is just bricks and mortar. It's the staff that work here on a daily basis, doing much, much more stressful jobs than I am doing, caring for sick children, that I think makes this hospital a great place.
If the stories we've heard tonight tell us anything, it is that in these challenging times, with cutbacks and changes being forced through in every workplace, and businesses grasping for solutions, the answer could be right under our noses. And it doesn't even cost anything. A happy workplace is more efficient, more productive, more creative and more competitive. And it's far more likely to survive and thrive even through this recession.